Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. I am finishing up this bee journal that we started how many years ago now? It's been a while, right? So like with the rest of the signatures, I have ephemera that I've divided out and set aside for each signature. So that's what you're looking at here. So just decided to make a tab out of that little piece of scrap, and here I'm just kind of remembering what I had to work with, and just gonna kind of take a look and see what we've got and what I had kind of some of this stuff I had already prepped and basically gotten it ready, and then some of it just needed to be backed and turned into journaling cards and stuff. And so, and here obviously some things needed to be fussy cut out. So, yeah, so just remembering what I have to work with here, and then I'm just going to start making the ephemera for this signature before I put it all into the signature. And now it's time to do some inking of edges, because there's a lot of that to do. So I cut that out. So everything now has been inked around, and still some of this is just a white background because I just printed it off and didn't tea dye it. But then like that one or those that I'm putting off to the right have been tea dyed and will be journaling cards, and they're already ready to go. So I'm just kind of separating things so I know what's what and what I need to do, and now I'm gonna just start decorating things and making my ephemera. So this one, as you saw, or you will see, came from Love Junk Journals. It's the Labels 2 digital kit. I don't think I have this one linked down below, but if you're interested, there's a whole lot more obviously labels in that kit. I think this is literally the only one thing from there that I was using in this journal, so I would mention that. And then of course I still have all my washi that I had originally set aside to use in this journal, still in the little holder that I had it in. So pulling from there and just gonna do a little bit of collage and make some ephemera here. So on this one I noticed that I didn't get it glued down quite straight, so I'm gonna do a little washi cluster here to try and take your eye away from that and not make it so obvious. And then I thought it needed something just a little bit more, so I went into this little pack of vellum pictures that I have, and I'm just looking for something kind of buggy. So I found this, I guess it's a moth, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but found that and thought it would look good off to the side there. And I'm gonna cut off the right hand side of it so it doesn't need to, yeah, I wanted it to be offset from the bee. So on this one I thought I'd do another little collage, and I came back to this little booklet, but then I thought, no, that's a little too much the same as the one that I just did, and so then I pulled out this other one that I have that's like stamps. They're just black and white, and then I saw this one that looked just kind of like a frame to me, so thought I'd go ahead and put that down, and yeah, I really like that. So I'm gonna put those two down, and then I'll put something fun in the middle of there. So as I've been kind of going through my stash, trying to decide what I want to keep and what I want to destash, found this set of brass from K & Company, and there were some bee things in there. I thought, oh, how perfect. So pulled that aside, and I'll be using that just a little bit in this journal. So the back piece of paper there is some blank index cards that I found at Walmart. They have them for 50 cents a pack for 100. I couldn't believe it. So I think I bought 2 packs of them and just tea dyed them. And they're just the perfect weight because they're not super thick, but they're thick enough to be used as backing for making journaling cards and stuff, or just having it be a journaling card in your journal. I thought that they were kind of perfect for any kind of medium, not just tea dye, but if you wanted to watercolor or any kind of medium, any kind of color or anything, ink. Yeah, if you shop at Walmart, definitely pick some of those up because that's a really great supply for journalers. Ephemeral like this one is kind of my favorite way to do this. I'm literally just grabbing what I'm seeing in front of me and figuring out how I'm going to make it work all together. And that's when these interesting shapes and just unexpected things always happen. And I really enjoy this process. And I've just kind of been thinking how I did start this journal so long ago, and it's kind of just been sitting in the background, and I'm working on it as I can. And for you guys, that's not so fun because I know how fun it is to watch a whole full series of a journal being put together in succession and in order, and quickly. But for me as the journal maker, I feel like having projects like this kind of in the background that I can work on maybe when I'm tired of whatever else it is that I'm working on, or just need a break from something, or you know just having just something different and something new, freshen my mind with before I go back to the other thing maybe that I'm working on. Sorry, my kitten is playing with a very loud toy. But anyway, yes, I realize I probably shouldn't film them if I'm going to be doing this way, but I don't know. Other junk journalers that maybe watch me, how do you feel about that? Do you guys have your own little projects that you kind of keep off to the side and work on things that way, or are you do you work on things one thing at a time, and when that's finished, you go on to the next thing? I know for me, I typically do it that way, but lately I've just kind of had all kinds of different projects in different states of being completed, and I'm feeling a little bit more efficient in that way too, in some ways. But yeah, having this one kind of in the background as a fun thing to work on, and that I know is there and ready for me whenever I want to work on it. That's just kind of been a fun thing too. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? So these background papers that you're seeing here, these are papers that I pulled out of some Reader's Digest books that I just put up for sale in my Etsy shop, and um, they kind of ended up being the exact perfect colors to use as helpers for making my journaling cards. And the even better part of it is the back sides of those are a really gorgeous aged color of book page that's just blank book page. So yeah, those, don't ever throw those away. Those make amazing journaling card backs and just cardstock, really. So here I went back to my little booklet of vellum stamps and decided to go ahead and add one down there, just kind of like as another little collage, sort of. So now I'm just looking for a little bit of washi to add to it, and I don't know, rule of three, I guess. So at the end of all this, I'm gonna be doing some sewing on these journaling cards. So, and you'll actually get to see that I set the camera up in a way that you'll be able to watch the sewing part of it. So that'll be different and fun. So that piece of brown paper there is some leftovers from a paper bag from the grocery store. So I tend to use those quite often these days. I just find that they're very sturdy, first of all. I have a lot of them, so rather than throw them in the garbage or, I mean, I guess I use them for garbage bags too, but the nicer color ones I'm going to use for my journals. And it's amazing what texture and just, yeah, they just look really cool. So, all right, so pretty much done with decorating and creating the ephemera. So now I'm just going through and deciding which ones need to be sewn or should be sewn, and I'll put those into a little pile and do that, and yeah, then we'll actually get to put this stuff into the signature. Oh, cleaning up my mess, that's what I'm doing here. So I can make a new one in a few minutes. Okay, so here's a fast forward view of my sewing. I realized there I had it way too close, so I moved it back just a little bit. I'm hoping that the camera doesn't shake. I had to sew a little bit slower than I usually do, so it wouldn't do that. But for the most part, I'm just sewing borders around these journaling cards. Or like in this case, I'm just doing some messy stitching on the side there. So it kind of depends on what the journaling card is. Sorry for my hand. And what I end up doing. But yeah, like in this one, I'm just sewing the border. That one's going to be a pocket. So I only did 3 sides on that. This one will be a tag, and I'm switching back and forth between a zigzag stitch and just a straight stitch. And this one I'm just doing 2 lines of a straight stitch, but the second one I'm making messy, and I love that look, so just doing that. So yeah, pretty simple. If you don't have a sewing machine, don't worry about sewing in your journals because it's definitely not necessary. It's just a nice little perk. And I've been sewing ever since I can remember. So it's just kind of a natural thing for me to do. Actually, I think I prefer sewing on paper than fabric. It's just so much easier to work with. But I guess it depends on the fabric that you use too. But okay, I think we're finally at the point where I'm ready to start putting this stuff into the journal or the signature. So I always like to kind of start with something on the first page or the inside of the first page of the signature. So just looking through and trying to find the perfect thing, and I think this will be great. I'm just going to turn that into a pocket. And then I'll throw some ephemera in there from my stash. But of course I got too much glue. So it was pretty typical. I don't know about you guys, but I always have glue escaping everywhere. I think I just get it too close to the edges. I don't know, but yep, just pulling some cute ephemera to put into that little pocket there. And this is just going to be the process. Looking for pages to add my ephemera to. I try not to put stuff on every single page because I like to get you guys started, or whoever ends up purchasing my journals. I like to get them started, but I don't necessarily want to do everything, because, if I'm junk journaling, I'm going to have my own stuff to add, and I would assume that's the case for most people as well, unless they want to just use it for a writing journal, which in that case, then you need room for writing too, right? So yeah, I try not to overload my journals too much. So this journal is definitely not going to be hurting for pockets. And I'm not going to fill every single one of these up. Like I said again, or before, you know, you guys would have your own ephemera. Whoever's purchasing these journals would, I would assume, have their own notes and ephemera and things that they would want to put into those pockets sometimes. So I don't necessarily want to put something in every single pocket every single time I make a journal. But yeah, so getting about done here, and I had that one piece left over, so I'm just looking for a good spot to put that one. And I think I decide on this page. No, this page. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for me, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.